Hi, my name is Brittany Slay, and I am a student in EDM 310 at the University of South Alabama. And I have Miss Kathy Holler with me today. She is a second grade teacher at Alberta Elementary School, and I got to see firsthand what a great teacher she was because I did my observation hours with her last semester. But I'm going to let her say a little bit about herself before I start interviewing her.
My name is Kathy Clayton Holler. I've been a teacher for 34 years. I absolutely love teaching. I'm very passionate about it. I think that we should be passionate about whatever career we go into because if you don't love what you're doing, you don't do a wonderful job at it. And teaching is of paramount importance, and therefore, we need teachers who love children to be able to reach them and teach them. And that's what I do.
Based learning, and do you use it
I
more often than
I was
not? Or?
very reluctant to start it because it sounded like a lot of trouble and it sounded over my children's head.
Mm-hmm.
But once I delved deeper into it and went to a workshop about it, I realized that I was doing it, I just wasn't calling it that, and I needed to just tune up a few areas. I'm a big believer in group work and children working together because that fosters that get along with your neighbor, have more kindness in our world,
Mm-hmm.
and project based learning provides an excellent opportunity for that, and it also provides an area where some of your weaker students can really excel because they are more personable, or they may have better math skills,
Mm-hmm.
or some other skill that's enhanced and allows them to shine
And can
in
help
this.
somebody. They
It,
can teach someone.
Yes, and like one of the things that we did a project based learning on was about well, one of them was on frogs, and we each person took a stage in the frog's life. I think you
I
even
think I
saw
was there for
you
that and saw some
were,
of them.
and they developed and they each had to do a little education
Mm-hmm.
about frogs, and then they had to show it. Each group had to do a certain stage, and then they had to show their stages and what they had done, and then later on in our reading book we had a frog story, and so then they had to do an education using those, and
Mm-hmm.
then they had to teach. Also, we did one with Helen Keller. It was a story in our reading book,
Yeah.
and we studied sound because of vibrations, and they were fascinated to learn that sound is a result of vibrations, and they love to put their fingers on their throat
Yeah.
and
I think I remember
feel.
that too. I was there for
Yeah,
that
you
too.
were.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful, and they each were given an aspect of Helen Keller's life, a great yearly span of her life, like Helen Keller Young, and Helen Keller goes to college, and and then they had to teach the class. They had to also make a little education or a little movie, and had to share the different stages of her life and what her contributions are, and are they still valid today? And then I take them to the office and point out a quote about how that we can work together better. That's a major quote in our school. We're a Leader in Me school, and we
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of quotes everywhere, and they get really tickled when they
Love
realize
her.
they know Helen Keller and she has a quote in our room. And I, I was surprised to learn how cool
How
project
much
based.
you'd
Yeah,
actually like it and use it.
yeah,
That is
I
cool.
really was.
And so obviously you feel pretty strongly about technology in the schools. Y'all use it and try to
Yes.
incorporate
And I
it.
think that's funny for someone who's 57 years old and had to jump up and change the channels whenever I was growing up, and didn't see a computer until we had one that we rotated around,
Yeah.
and um, I think that I'm a perfect example of someone who decides that, hey, I'm going to get with it. I'm not going to get left behind because I now have an iPad. I have a MacBook. I have a computer. My husband has a computer. Um, he has a tablet that he uses at work. I mean, we're we may be old, but don't count us out.
Yeah.
We do use a lot of technology, and um, I even make grocery lists with it.
Mm-hmm.
And making a list is a concept that you need to teach children. They don't really know how to even make a list, and
Yeah.
we get teach them to do that, and they can use that as in project-based learning with different technology pieces. So I think it's vital. But now I also think that if I don't teach you to read, you're going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do think that there needs to be a valid time for the teacher interaction. I don't think that technology will ever replace having a teacher with small children.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it can happen earlier.
But you still need that.
You do. You
contact.
Need that, and you need that bond there.
Mm-hmm.
You need a connection, a person connecting with children. But I think even the technology today allows for more of that.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the project-based learning is important because it forces children to work together, and you will discover there are some children who really don't want to interact with others and are impatient, and it helps them learn patience.
Learn new skills that they are going to need.
It's really important.
Well, is there any little tidbit of information you'd give to a new teacher?
Don't be afraid to try something, and don't be afraid to say, hey, ho, slow down. I don't know how to do that. Help me, please, because someone's always going to be helping you. And I feel like that on our second grade team, we are 6 teachers, and we are everywhere from my age all the way down to we have a teacher that this coming year will be her 3rd year to teach with us.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many things that she comes to me about and asks me, and there's many things that I go to her and ask her. And I got tickled because I actually had to teach her how to use the iNow program.
Well, thank you for sharing all of this with us today. And as you can see, she's an inspiration and a great teacher role model. And thank you.
You bet.